start social media early and get as much content out there as possible, because that, I mean, one of my largest customers is a result of one of my followers that was watching my videos and was doing some of the same things I was doing. He had a cousin who was actually in the marble business, but a lot of the people that do granite and marble countertops are Yeti dealers because of a relationship they had with the owners of Yeti. I think they were in that same industry. So that, you just don't know where your business will come from. As long as you're making yourself available, whether that's social media, whether that's carrying your cup around with you at the football game that your kid's playing at, wherever you are, always be marketing.
All right, we are live. Well, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Laser Source podcast. And we have Andy from Australia, and we have Chad from, where are you from, Chad?
I'm from Atlanta,
Georgia. So they're joining us here. This episode is all about, what got you into this? Why would you do this? Why would you start a business in laser engraving, and kind of get everybody's kind of stories of coming of age, if you will. So we got Kyle, of course, joined us coming back home from the long weekend of recording. I cannot wait to see that stuff. Is going to be live. I saw some of the stuff behind the scenes. It looks funny.
I can't wait for everybody to get to see it and enjoy it with us.
So that's probably what you're going to be working on for the next couple of weeks, huh?
Alex is primarily going to be working on that. I'm actually working on a Lightburn for Gantry crash course to accompany the Lightburn for Galvo crash course that Alex worked so hard on so far.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be continuing work on that. My CO2 laser is finally back up and running, so I'm a happy camper.
Your shelving unit is gone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what I got working on now.
Awesome.
I got some surprise deliveries coming.
Perfect.
More to share on that later.
Awesome. So we'll start with Andy. Andy's over in Australia, guys, just so you know. It's 11 a.m. tomorrow for him. So thanks for joining us so early in the morning on a Wednesday, Andy.
It's not really early, is it? 11. It's nearly lunchtime.
And so what got you into the whole fiber business yourself?
Well, I started off, I guess I'm a technical background. I used to be telecommunications. I had my own business doing phones and all that sort of stuff. Then as my dad got older, Mum had already passed away, so I moved in with Dad to look after him, and I started off doing vinyl and sublimation to keep me occupied. Then I moved on, and my first laser was a K40, which I did a lot of like the LED lights with the click. Then when Dad passed on and I was sort of retired, so I was not quite old enough to fully retire, but they still had me on the pension, and then I sort of just moved on. So had the K40 for 4 years. Then I bought a slightly larger blue-white Chinese 450 watt laser, which got me into Lightburn. And then just this year at Christmas, I thought, fiber looks good, start engraving on metal and stuff like that. So I bit the bullet, and I actually bought a 30 watt easy marker, which is a cloud ray. No problems with it, but then I started watching Laser Everything and then realized I would have been better off getting the JPT instead of the Rakis. So after a little while of persevering, I then bought the Rakis source and upgraded the source in the machine. So I've now got the 30 watt JPT, which is good. And starting to do little bits and pieces in the local community, Yeti mugs, cheaper versions of Yeti mugs, which I'd rather do, because then when I stuff it up, I'm not blowing like $45 out the door.
Well, so, not getting them to come after you either. Yeti's very...
Yeah, and I did find, I prefer to do black only, because black's a one pass. The other colors, sometimes 3 passes, sometimes it just doesn't work. So I've since bought a 300 mil lens, and I'm in the process of making a riser because it's too expensive to get one shipped. Like to get one from China, like 200 AU dollars, and then it's nearly $300 to get it shipped. So that's $500. That's just not worth it.
And I imagine you have to pay customs or something to import it in, right?
No, import duties don't hit us until over $1,000.
Oh, okay.
So if it's under $1,000, it just slips in under the radar, so they don't hit you with any duties. But once you go over the $1,000, then you've got the duties and the GST and all that sort of stuff comes on. But that wasn't a great deal. It's the shipping that kills us. You know.
Well, someone in the comments asked, "What's the tower height needed for a 300 millimeter lens?"
Definitely more than 50. My plan's to raise mine 150, and I think that should be enough to do a tumbler. I mean, I saw Alex do it on his 30 watt, but I don't think I'll get enough height. When I wound mine up, I just don't think there's enough height to get it properly. So
yeah, it's just a little tight. A lot of people will raise it up like about 100 to 150, and then the other method is people will swap from a 50 centimeter tower to an 80, and that gives you a full extra 300 millimeters. You know, but
as I said, the 80 tower is just out of budget. It's
so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other option I had too, I was thinking I was looking at buying a new work plate, because the Easy Marker, as you can see, it's all in one built thing. And then I could turn the actual tower around with the bed off the side of it.
Ooh.
Little engineering.
Yeah, but then when you move it, you might knock it, and then it's not all joined together. So I figured raising it's probably going to be the easiest method.
So you said before you did mostly local business, no online like sales or nothing like that?
No. As I said, being retired, I don't want to affect my pension or whatever. So I've got to keep my income to I've got to balance it. You work all your life and you pay taxes and everything else. So the last thing I want to do now is keep working and then not reap the benefit of all those taxes I paid.
It's a weird system, isn't it?
Yeah.
They get you coming and going. So yeah, Chad, so what got you started into this whole laser business?
Well, let's see. I started off by customizing Yetis before Yeti had anything powder coated. Nobody was really doing customizing, and I actually had come up with a method of taking Cricut vinyl and doing the negative space and sandblasting it. Well, at one point we came up with the company name ManCrafting, and unfortunately I have, if you can see there, very, very tiny details in my logo, and I didn't think about it from a design standpoint, how it would affect doing things like making hats or cups or anything else. I didn't have any knowledge of that sort of thing at the time. So I started trying to research how could I create because vinyl, you can't make those small details unless it's like 12 inches. So I started looking into lasers, and initially I was looking at Epilog, and they were on the low end, 27,000 at the time. And I just couldn't figure out the return on investment. It just didn't seem to make sense at the time. So I ended up with a Boss 1630, which I think was about 12 at the time for everything out the door. And I actually split it with one of my good friends. We bought it together and we put it in my basement. And eventually I bought him out, and they bought another 1416 and 60 watt, which for doing cups was more than sufficient, as you guys probably all know. But yeah, that was my initiation into the laser world, was trying to find a cheaper alternative to Epilog. And since that time, let's see, I've had an Epilog. I've had a Boss. I've had an Eon. I've got a bunch of the diode lasers that companies have sent me to try out. And then my most recent purchase, the JPT 50, which, matter of fact, I bought the JPT specifically because of his video on what to get. So, but I'm actually probably selling that. I just sold the Eon, and I'm probably selling that. I'm going to be getting a 60 watt JPT from Stealth Laser, who I'm working with now.
Okay. So what is your main products you do now?
Probably more than anything, I still do a lot of cups. That's the primary thing. I've been doing some wind chimes, the little medallion on the bottom of the wind chimes. Seems to be a good market for that with people who've passed away. Kind of morbid, but at the same time, there's a need there, I guess. So people somehow have found out that I could do that. I'm trying to think what else. Some acrylic signs, but not a lot, because now that I got rid of the Eon, I'd have to disassemble this. So eventually when I replace that Eon with a Stealth Laser, then I'll be doing more flat stuff.
So the Stealth is a CO2?
I'm going to get a 60 watt fiber.
Oh, okay.
From Stealth, and that I'll be doing a lot of like coins, brass coins, copper coins. And then with the CO2, I'll be doing flat. I'll get one with a little bit bigger bed on it, so I can have more space. Obviously, 1630 is probably about the smallest I'd want to go if I was trying to do a lot of flat stuff.
Yeah, man, that's wild, because that's quite the investment. We all know how not cheap this stuff is, and
it adds up. Up. I'm kind of in a unique position. I'm semi-retired. I sold my business. Well, I set it up in February of 2020, and then actually completed the sale in March. I've kind of been building my social media / making business over the past 5 years. So slowly but surely have replaced my other incomes.
Right.
Very cool.
That's wild, man. If you had to start all over again, what laser would you start with now?
If I had to start with another laser, I probably, because with the fiber you can do metals, but you can also do cups. I probably would go with the fiber laser first. And also it takes up less space, so I could probably put 5 fiber lasers in here instead of 1 or 2 CO2 lasers. So that's definitely something to consider.
If you had to start over, what would you start with?
I probably would start with a fiber, but I'm the sort of guy, I love to tinker, so that's why a K40 wasn't an issue for me. In fact, the Chinese laser I got, I don't know whether, I think they've got a US store, Vivor. They're just some sort of importer that resells. Well, I bought this through them because it was already in the country, so I didn't have to worry about any duties. So, and it was only $1,600 when I got it. Nice. But when it arrived, it cut perfect, but it wouldn't engrave. So backwards and forwards talking, and they were trying to help me, the tube blew up. Big arcing and sparks at the back of the tube. So they actually sent me a whole new machine. Didn't take the other one back, obviously. They just sent me a whole new machine. Wow. And it did exactly the same thing. It wouldn't engrave. And after being on about 4 or 5 different forums, and I found someone that had also the same problem, was chasing the problem, someone got back to us, and it was the controller was wired wrong. It was a matter of moving 2 wires around and breaking a link and putting a link somewhere else. And that fixed the whole issue. So then I sold the other one. I fixed the wiring on it and sold the other one as with a dead tube. So basically my laser cost me $900.
That's pretty solid.
Around.
That's a great startup cost.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
No, but Lightburn is definitely awesome to use. Unfortunately, I hadn't used EasyCAD that much, only getting the fiber in February. But I hadn't had a problem. And I don't use conventional programs because doing the vinyl cutting, I actually used my vinyl software. I take my images into there to create my vectors and then save them as a DXF file. So I don't have to use Illustrator and other programs like that, and I've never had an issue. And probably having the K40, I used to use Corel Laser was an add-on, which the K40 used to use. That was the drawing part of things I've never had an issue with because of the other backgrounds that I learnt with.
Mm-hmm. So you don't use Lightburn right now?
I use Lightburn, yeah, on both.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
I was glad to get rid of EasyCAD.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the day when they get Lightburn for EasyCAD 3. Yeah, that'd be.
Someone did comment about making the spacer for the tower, and they've put there about some 440 or 660 extrusion. What I've actually got is I haven't done anything with them yet, but that's 150 by 50 mil, 3 mil thick box section.
Nice.
So my bolt spacings for the tower are 100 mil apart, whereas most of them are 150. So all I've got to do is I'm going to affix these together, and I'll be drilling the holes through. So then I'll bolt that on the base station, and then bolt the tower on the top. So that should keep it nice and square and stable. And that was like $20. The guy cut me off those 3 off cuts. So the difference to the $500 for a tower.
Man,
enormous difference.
Well, and Sean McPeak says got the fiber for just a little over half price on auction.
Nice.
Yikes. That's thousands of dollars saved, of course. My goodness. And I'm like you, Chad. I didn't know jack diddly squat about anything, and I started researching, and I stumbled across Laser Everything and Buyer's Guide, and he recommended the different types and the entry prices, and I was like, well, go big or go home. I was like, screw it, I'm getting a 50 watt, and just gonna learn it the hard way. And it's kind of the same thing with this community. Has been such a blessing for me personally. How long have you guys, Chad, when did you start? Are you a LMA member?
I am, yeah.
Okay, and how long have you been a member of the LMA community?
Let's see, probably 3 months, 4 months.
3 months? Good deal. And you got any value out of it?
I've been clicking, reading stuff. I haven't added a lot yet because I don't feel like, especially on the fiber side, I have much to add. But that's what I've been focusing on learning. And I have a few people that have fiber lasers that have been helping me out as well. So
yeah, it's a great community. Andy, how long are you a member of the LMA?
Yes, yeah, a member of the LMA. I joined probably about January. I got the fiber in February, and I watched a lot of the the YouTube clips, and then I joined the LMA, and it's been really good. Like, guys have been helpful with problems I've had and issues. Kyle and Alex, like I had problems with. I was talking only the other week where I was having the problem with the rotary where it kept stopping on the 0 thing, and it looks like it turned out to be using the USB-3 port, because I just moved it to the USB 2 port and I haven't had the issue since.
That's very interesting.
Well, that's the beauty of the community. Like, everyone's had different experiences, and if you nothing's original, right?
It might not be a USB 3. It might just be whatever chipset's on my computer that's got the issue.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot out of this community. You guys have helped me figure out just all the basic stuff, and that's why I think it's just worth putting the effort in to help anybody you can. Because like Alex said, I think it was last week, he said, no matter where you're at, you can always help someone that's only one step behind you.
Yeah.
You just got that one extra step. You don't have to be far into it. You have to be an expert, but you just got to be one step ahead of the person asking a question. You can help them. Yeah. And vice versa.
I had that
big.
I actually do that. There's a guy, he's over here in Australia too. From that, I'd video them and put them on YouTube. And I'd also send them to CloudRay just to show them what I was doing. And that's worked for me too, because when I bought a ring rotary, they sent me a whole heap of blanks with it so I could do some more videos and send them off. So that was good. But he asked me questions about the laser I bought and my experience, and he ended up buying one from Cloud Ray, the same as mine. He makes dog leashes and collars out of biothane, like a vegan material, and he does pets. So he tried to get the stainless steel fixings engraved, and a guy gave him a price, and then they used Cermark spray, and it didn't do it properly. So that was his leap in to get one, so he can do all his own marking. So.
Do you have a YouTube channel? You upload stuff for yourself, or you just have your own social media you run with your?
No, I don't do a social media as such. I just load it up for myself, so that if someone says, "Oh, what have you done?" or whatever, and then I can sort of just give them a link. But I mean, it's public. It's not. It's so anyone can find it if they're doing a search.
Mm-hmm. But what about you, Chad? Do you have any kind of social medias you want to talk about, or your channels or anything like that for your content?
Yeah, I'm essentially ManCrafting on everything. So I don't do specifically or exclusively laser stuff. I do have several laser related videos, but I do welding, plasma CNC, which you can see that behind me. I've done some wood turning, powder coating, all kinds of things. So just ManCrafting, a little bit of everything.
Just making stuff, right?
Yeah, just arts and crafts, and I'm a man, so therefore ManCrafting.
There you go, man. Especially when it's available on all the socials, it's nice that nobody else has thought of it, and you just kind of take it.
I mean, I've had that name since 2015, so it was pretty early on. So
yeah, you're ahead of the curve. Then you got a 7-year head start on that bad boy.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Oh wait, there's a Facebook question here. I can't see who it is. It says, I think it says, do you know if the pin rotary is working yet with Lightburn?
As of yet, I don't think they added any additional functionality to the rotary settings yet.
Okay.
You could probably fiddle with the way it's set up and maybe get something to work, but it's not going to have the same functionality as EasyCAD yet.
Okay. We got another question here from Joseph. He says, UV getting added to Lightburn soon.
As far as I know, they were working on it. Jason did say he had a UV coming. As far as where it's at, I have no idea, to be honest.
Yeah, right. It's just a guess now. And someone else was asking, when do we think the Galvo stuff will be available? Or Gantry, I'm sorry, the Gantry Lightburn course, crash course.
Oh, the Gantry crash course? Soon, TM.
Probably
I'm going hard on it in the next couple weeks, and you'll start seeing episodes coming up on it. So
nice. I'm personally looking forward to that because I have a lot to learn. So I have a Mirror 9, and I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot. So I focused so much on the fiber because I said, okay, I'm gonna go into EasyCAD 3 and just learn it from there. Failed experiment. I could just, it's just not good enough for what we need to do here. So I'm going to keep fiddling with that and learning Lightburn for the CO2 laser and just learn as we go. I've already bent one of the damn, focus pin already once. So that was
there's spares. Your machine came with spares.
Yeah. But I just couldn't believe I did something so silly. I was like, fuck, I left that piece of wood in the way, like bam. I was like, shit. My girlfriend's like, what the hell was that? I was like, oh, nothing, oh my gosh. But yeah, I think that's going to be a huge market to learn on there about Lightburn for anybody who's new to this stuff, that'll see this is how you do it step by step, install the program just like the other one, and set the whole thing up, get your properties right and everything like that, to set that thing up proper and know what all those little buttons do. That's the thing. You see all these things, like who the hell's got time to sit around and do this and see what it does? It'd take you a whole freaking day to go through all the options of that thing, or just go to the video.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny with Lightburn, the biggest thing I found hard to adjust to straight off the bat was the hash, because having used EasyCAD, where you get a blank object and then you feel the hatch and you sort of see what it's doing while you're doing it. Light burn's just black.
Yep.
And you think,
and you can't zoom in to see what it's doing. You have to go into the little layer setting to get an idea. Yep.
And then the other thing, I mean, I never used the hash that sort of goes round like in a square in EasyCAD, but that's not there in Lightburn. There's a similar one, but it's not the same.
We've got a couple more questions in the comments here. Ruben says, what has been your guys' top sellers?
Well, not really selling, but the most things people ask me for are to engrave the Yeti mugs. And the other thing that I've done a few of now, basically for wedding gifts for people, is actually slate coasters with Mr. and Mrs. and whatever on it.
And what about you, Chad?
Definitely mugs by a long shot. Like I said, I've done some wind chimes. I've done some cake toppers for like a wedding cake. But primarily, I mean, people know me since 2015 as the mug guy, so kind of hard to get away from that. But I am now that I have the fiber, I'm definitely expanding into coins, challenge coins for a variety of different customers.
Yeah, there is endless capabilities. You have CO2 and a fiber because you can do inorganics and organics, and it kind of just says, okay, the only thing left is really the UV, and that's for like the plastics. But who the hell's got that kind of money? Not myself. But yeah, it really is interesting because when you look at what they're capable of, it's almost like you're overloaded. Like it's just overwhelming. Like, oh, I could do everything, and then you got to figure, okay, what do I want to do? Like Alex said before, what do you want to do? That's really hard to figure out if you don't know exactly what your plan is. Without a plan, you're just going to go scattershot. And you're not going to be great at anything. You'll be good at some things and capable, but not really a perfection, like outcompete people and say, I can do it better than anybody else. I dare you to try, you know? And that's what I want to do is personally become a master at something. And then before I move on to expanding our products, because you don't want to be known for inconsistent products. A good engraving, like Andy was saying, black is black and it works. And say, well, you know, oh yeah, I can try yellow. That's insane. You know, red and yellow, the blues are freaking hard as hell to get that last coat off, you know. But I think once you get it down, and that's the beauty of the community is the damn parameter settings and tweaking it. And that's been the biggest value is the damn parameter library.
Oh yeah, no question.
So what's your guys' opinion on this? So the title of the episode is Why Laser Owners Start Their Own Businesses, right? Do you think that's where a lot of people are? Or is it kind of like a mixed bag of people are looking for more individualized things or finding things that they want that other people aren't providing and they're getting into it themselves? Or I don't know. Do you guys have opinions on that?
From personal things, I think what it is you do a Monday to Friday, or you've got a full-time job, it brings in X money. And not so much for my age, but with a younger, if you want to buy a home, two people have to work. Yeah. And then when you raise a family, two people have to work. And you've got to try and raise a family. So one option is, what can I do at home so I can still look after the kids and base it? And once you start a home business, doesn't matter whether it's laser or anything else, it means that you can put the kids to bed, then you can work. You know, and I think, and especially not trying to, women tend to be more creative, artsy type than most male people. I mean, there's a lot of great men that are artsy. I mean, I'm quite an artsy sort of a person myself, but in general, you find the women seem to have that. It's a natural gift for them. So a lot of the time, the male's out working, doing his stuff, and she's at home and she's working on the artsy craftsy stuff. And then you come home and you have to fix the machine and you have to sort out all the problems. But I think it's a base of economy. Plus, if you want something a bit different as a gift, if you go to the store, you're buying the same gifts that everyone else is buying. So if you can give, even if it's just by adding the name or a motif or something like that on a product, then there's a market.
Yeah.
Like I said before, you just want to be the cool aunt or uncle. Get your little diode and customize something. Like for
the grandkids love me.
Well, seriously, like $300. For $300, you can get a nice entry level. What was that one you recommended before, Kyle? It was the we just did you was talking about it in the other live stream about the one that's like for $300.
Diode laser.
Oh, the Atom Stack.
Atom Stack, yes, the Atom Stack. You can get an Atom Stack, slap it on your kitchen table, or your countertop in your kitchen, and bust out some customized signs or something you want to do, or whatever, like coasters, like you said before, and you can be the one that makes cool gifts, type of thing. It doesn't have to be a business, just be a hobby. You can be something fun for you to do. Yeah. But I think Andy also, I think there's some stigma behind men being showing their creativity. There's some social stigmas there where people are like, well, that's not real work. That's crap. It's old thinking of what is work, quote unquote. Because I think you know what, Chad, you go ahead and share your thoughts. I don't want to go on my own little weird way.
Well, like you were saying, the diode laser is definitely a great starting point for somebody who's not going to be looking at doing volume. If you have any intention of actually making more than 5 a day, you're going to have to look at something more expensive. For me, I'm one of those people who I've always felt in my head that I was creative, but my hands have never been able to produce that artistic. And I remember when I started using the Cricut vinyl cutter and I was sandblasting, everybody just thought this is the most, artistic, creative thing ever. And I looked like an artist without having the true hand-eye coordination. I mean, the great thing about digital fabrication is anybody can be an artist now, right? So, yeah, I mean, I'm creative in the sense that I can build businesses, and I've done that. I've been a serial entrepreneur through my whole life. But when it came to actually, I could have a great idea, like a logo for my old business. I created it. I hand wrote it. Actually, the logo for this business, I designed it by hand with, just a piece of paper and a pencil, and I sent it to somebody who actually has those digital fabrication or digital skills, and could actually make what I was thinking in my head reality. And I may not have that artistic ability, and I was aware of that very young in age when I had one of my best friends would be drawing, like inch for inch the cover of a DC comic, and now he's a professional cartoonist for DC. So it's like I saw what he could do, and I knew I was not capable. I mean, mine would be more like a Picasso. So when I was finally capable of taking things that looked cool and turning them into something cool, I mean, it just really stoked my creative ego, so to speak. Anybody that's in that situation knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, and that's the thing. You don't have to be a Van Gogh to be artistic in this community.
Exactly.
There's so many techniques to create this thing. It's really the creative part is how do you apply these different disciplines on these different materials with these different applications. And like you said, putting a sticker on something, sandblasting around it looks cool because that looks shiny. Everything else looks rough. It's contrast. You're just creating contrast with different mediums.
I mean, the only reason I ever did it to start with is I had bought a Yeti after all my Tervis cups got ruined in the dishwasher, and everybody that worked for me said, you're going to lose that cup, that expensive cup. And they made it. So I spent, $500 buying a sandblaster, a Cricut vinyl cutter, and, doing the sandblasting thing. So now I had a, $540 cup. So it only made sense to do it for other people at that point.
Man, talk about, supply and demand real quick.
Exactly.
And I think it's another thing too, is where people don't know what they're missing until they see it. So you got to make it and mock it up for them, and they'll see it and be like, oh shit, actually I love it. Or I think I can do that for my business, help promote my business, or I can do this to they could do it to start their own business. They could outsource to you and say, I'm gonna make like I have a friend right now that makes, he's got his own wood shop. He's making smoker bases with the glass over for whiskey smoked. I drank a great whiskey today for free. It was awesome, right? But he's gonna make them, and he says, well, if I make 100 of these, you can do anything on there I want. I was like, if it's on the right format, I can, convert it and put it on there for you, no problem. Like little things like that, you don't even know, these weird little opportunities that once people know you're capable of doing these things, it's going to present more opportunities you won't even see coming. It might be your biggest boomer, your biggest income could be something you have no idea that's coming. That's what I'm looking forward to. Like, I'm looking forward to the idea of what's that thing that's going to take off that I have no control over, and I don't even have to see it come. And it's going to come to me if I just keep grinding and keep making your name, or like Andy said, locally, everybody knows this is what Andy does. You want something done, Andy can knock it out. He's a tinkerer. He can figure it out. Just give him the stuff and pay him to do it. Okay. Like there's a lane there too, to be a local, I guess you'd say, tinkerer, to fix things up and make them look nice and be creative, man. It's awesome. And if you don't know the answers, you go to the community and you ask. You don't have to, and that's the best thing about being an entrepreneur. Can you do it? Of course I can. You don't know how to do it. You go figure it out real quick. That's the beauty of it. Can you do it? Yes. Go figure it out. I love this community because you guys have been, everyone's so helpful here, and just everybody wants to see everybody win and succeed. There's not a mindset of scarcity. It's a mindset of, surplus. And I think if we all keep working together, we'll all grow. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
It's like miracles we can do. The impossible just takes a little longer.
Yep.
I think before I kind of joined the Laser Everything family, I was kind of prepping to start my own business, right? So I started with the CO2, and the reason why I did that, I saw kind of a demand in my area for a couple of things. First off was custom drink tumblers and stuff like that, and there was nobody really in my area doing that. And number two was educational assistance, right? So like kind of like 3D puzzles and like engagement tools for education. So that's the reason why I got my 24x40 machine behind me, because I wanted to do bulk cutouts for stuff like that. Now I never got that far because as soon as I got started, I joined the family here, but and you know what? That's okay, because me not doing it and being able to help thousands of people do that, I think that's a pretty good trade-off anyway. So I'm okay with that. But in terms of the reason why I was looking at working from home and doing that is, at least for me, health problems, a daily commute was quite literally killing me in more ways than one. And being able to be home and help my family out and, be a caregiver and do that kind of stuff. It really kind of meant a lot for me to be able to do that and be able to come down here and work in between doing stuff and help the community out from my phone and from a laptop. So it afforded me the flexibility to communicate where I needed to be and when I was doing stuff for my laser business, affording that flexibility to work when I could and not feeling like I had to schedule myself to work when I couldn't. When you're the boss, you have that ability, right? So.
Yeah. And I think if helping this community fills your cup up, man, that's the healthiest thing you can do.
Yes. But I mean, in terms of like when I was doing the laser business thing, just before that, when you're the boss, right, you get to pick when you're talking to customers, you get to pick your open hours. Or if you have, let's say you can't really do on-call stuff, right? Cool. Email me or Facebook message me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So there's always ways to keep it flexible if that's what you need. For the period of time I was doing it, that's how I did it. But
Well, we've got some questions in the comment section here about pricing. So I think we should probably dive into that a little bit. How do you guys go about pricing for just general labor? It's like someone says, oh, I'm going to bring you this. I have a Yeti, put my name on it, or put this logo. Like, how do you guys go about pricing those types? There's a lot of questions about that type. So I see you jumped in here already, Chad. So I'll go ahead and let you start here instead of typing away.
Yes. Well, so I came from a different industry where we had kind of a set rate. And so I kind of knew what my hourly rate was, what I was willing to sacrifice doing that position or that work for to do this. So I wasn't going to take a cut in pay. So I started at $80 an hour. That was just kind of the standard. And, you have to kind of work around like each product, and are you going to have to help design the logo and all those things. So like in general, let's say it's $10 for etching one side, but it varies. I mean, some logos are larger, some are smaller. But I try not to go less than $10 per laser etching. Because I know I can do 8 to 10 of those in an hour for most items. Mm-hmm. And I just don't want to drop below what I could go trade out my hours for somewhere else.
Right. Market value. What's your time worth to you? That's exactly a big consideration. Exactly. What about you, Mindy? How do you price things for your local people?
Generally depends who they are. Like a couple of real estates want Yeti mugs, so they want their logo engraved on them. She brings me the mugs. I charge her $20. Little lady down the road wants a dog tag for a dog. It's just $10. Dog tags like 50 cents. It's based on thing. I do with the sublimation. So I do name badges. So I do a lot of them for the club with the magnetic fastening. Fortunately, they usually want like 10 or 12 ones at a time. So it's, one sheet of paper, ink, boom, print. I've got a retail price of $11 a name badge, and I give them like 20% discount. So they're paying like $7. So as I said, mine's only a supplement. I don't want to go too cheap because then I'll get too much work.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I wouldn't sacrifice on the quality. Quality to me is the main thing. But sometimes what does amaze me is other people's perceptions. It's like I do something and I think, oh, geez, I wouldn't want to sell that, so I'll give it to them at a good price. And they come in and look at it and say, oh, that's fantastic. And I sort of stake a step back, charge them what I was going to charge them originally because they're happy. But yeah, sometimes I just don't feel it's right. I think I could do better than that. So.
Well, it's tough to stay within that payment boundary for you too, to be like, okay, I want to do enough to keep myself happy and busy, but not screw myself. Yeah. When it comes right down to it, Yeah. Now there has been. What about you, Kyle? What about you? If you were doing your jobs, how do you charge for your time?
The way I would charge it is basically, so especially with the CO2 where I started out. My mindset on that was, okay, if I'm running nothing but cuts on that machine on like 1/4-inch plywood, and a cut is going to take me between 20 and 30 minutes, if it's like a really detailed cutout, I can only load it twice. So depending on how many cutouts are going on that, mm-hmm. I have to divide that out as that's an hour of my time, even though I'm not sitting here doing something on it for an hour. I'm prepping other stuff at my computer and watching that in the background to make sure my house doesn't burn down. Important. Don't leave your lasers alone. That's still an hour of my time because I can't do something else on that laser while it's already doing something, right? Lasers don't multitask. So unless you get more than one, but then it's still not multitasking. So my strategy on that was always price out the products based on what you're making, how many you're making per hour, and what you would want to make per hour. But you also have to account for the fact that you're not going to be running that machine 24/7, and you're not going to have 100% uptime. You have to buffer in some time there. Mm-hmm. So let's say you're only going to run the laser for 4 hours a day or something, but you want to get an 8-hour workday out of it. can you justify charging that much more per product? So it's kind of one of those things of, can the market bear the price for the product you're making? And can you charge that and not feel bad about yourself doing it?
Well, don't forget, people, you can charge for the labor of the laser. That's what it's there for.
It's working for you. It's a tool for you. Yeah.
You bought it. You own its labor. You got to really consider that just because you're sitting there watching it work, it's your machine. You put the money into it. That's the whole point of this. That's called capitalism, folks. Yeah. Welcome.
And if you're running your laser like 8 hours a day, it might be time to see if you can add to your workflow a second laser. Can you run both of those at the same time without making mistakes? Because if it only takes me 2 minutes to load on another piece and swap it out, I could easily offset the start and end times on those by 5 or 10 minutes, and I can run them both at the same time. You just cut your day in half, or you've doubled your productivity, depending on how you want to, work that math out.
Well, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder. Alex is in the chat. He says, remember, if you're dying to give your answers to these questions, we cover this topic in Thursday's viewer call-in episode. So if you want to come in here on Thursday and give us your points of view, you got to sign the form. We'll send you the forms, and you can jump in here and share your views on different, like how do you price your work, right? Or how do you market, whatever it is, right? I think it's going to be, we should talk about maybe price guides and stuff. So I think like what Chad was saying, when you figure out what your alley rate is, and then what Kyle said, just break it down. How long is it going to take me to do this product, and how many of these can I run in an hour? Just do the math. If it's 12 divided by 80, that's your price per unit. And I think you should also include scrap and lag time for troubleshooting and reworking stuff. So I think a normal, like I used to do a tool and die, so 10% is considered reasonable scrap. So that includes the price of the wood, and includes the price of your time to do 10% error or 10% setup, cleanup, whatever you want to call it. You always want to give yourself a little buffer in your prices to say, okay, I'm going to give myself 10% leeway here to cover myself. So if I make a mistake, I'm not undercutting myself pretty much. You don't want to cost you for all, directly every single time you make a little mistake. You always got to have time for a budget for waste material and stuff. But yeah, let's see here. Oh yeah. Also, guys, yes, after this live stream here, we're going to be done here in about 5-10 minutes here. We're going to go back down, and we're going to go just LMA only. For the behind the scenes, right? We put the link up. You can watch it. It's private only in the LMA.
The LMA only fans.
Yes. There you go. No. Keep my clothes on tonight, OpenHost even says 15 to 20% is always a good rule. Yeah.
Depending on what you're working on, right? So if I was doing nothing but, 1/4-inch plywood cutouts for educational instruments or whatever, I wouldn't need like a 20% buffer, generally speaking. But like if you're doing something like a bunch of Yetis, like by the case, or something a little less forgiving, you might want to account for a 20%, because it's going to hurt that much more if you miss or screw up on one or two in a row or more. So kind of you're going to have to play with that based on the market you're looking at, right?
Well, and also like you got to consider your customer. So if you're looking at a customer, it could become a significant repeat sale, like a corporate gig, right? And they have a very specific logo. They want to work a specific way. And you say, okay, I'm going to charge this plus like 1.2 for 20%, and you don't waste it. I'm going to throw in 3 or 4 extra because I actually didn't have any scrap. Here's a couple extra. You can always do those things it won't cost you anything. And it's a great gesture to say, hey, I did better. I ran more efficient than I thought. Here's a couple extra on me. And hopefully you guys come back again. Those types of things you can budget for, but use that as leverage to establish a good working relationship with your customers, to say, here's a few extra, or you can use those for prototypes for the next one for free and not budget it in there to help yourself have some leeway.
if you're adding things to what you're working on in terms of your portfolio, right? You can add free samples on from something else you're doing to see if you can expand your product line to them, right? So there's options.
Well, and Alex said here, on orders over 200 pieces, I always told customers to expect 2% loss. Okay, I'm not. I guess that's an industry term I'm not familiar with what I've done, but I guess it's just part of the cost of business. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing what everybody else got to say on Thursdays, man. This is going to be a fun topic. Talk about this type of things where it's always a learning experience. I mean, but is there anything else you guys want to talk about your business or experience with starting a business, or any advice for newcomers that are coming into this business?
Yeah, and the advice I can give is watch all the Laser Everything videos before you make your decisions on what you're going to buy.
Yeah, damn right.
I think for me, if I was going to give advice on it, if you're just getting into this business and you don't have a deep, broad, like I owned a retail business prior to doing this, and so I had a lot of customer base to pull from, and I just carried my cup around at work, and those people became customers ultimately. So if you don't have that and you're not really keen on going and knocking on doors of car dealerships or real estate agents, make sure that whatever your product is that you're going to be making, that you always have it on you. And then when somebody says, well, what do? You're pulling that item out and you're showing them what you do. And that, that will create word of mouth. It's like low cost. Second thing is start social media early and get as much content out there as possible. Because one of my largest customers is a result of one of my followers that was watching my videos and was doing some of the same things I was doing. He had a cousin who was actually in the marble business, but a lot of the people that do granite and marble countertops are Yeti dealers because of a relationship they had with the owners of Yeti. I think they were in that same industry. So that, you just don't know where your business will come from. As long as you're making yourself available, whether that's social media, whether that's carrying your cup around with you at the football game that your kid's playing at, wherever you are, always be marketing. Always be marketing.
Absolutely. And you guys, I have a question for everybody here, or anybody in the comment section. Where's the best place to go for shirts? Like I'm looking at making my own shirts with our logos. I know there's a ton of drop shipping companies, but it's a crapshoot on the quality. Anybody got stuff for promoting your businesses? Do you guys have any trusted places you guys know?
I can't help you because I'm in Australia, but because of the heat transfer vinyl, I've got accounts with a few different shirt manufacturers. One of the big popular brands over here is with the younger generation is AS Color. They do a cotton t-shirt range, and in the surf shops they're pretty expensive. Like just for a plain shirt, they'll be charging $38 just for a plain AS Color t-shirt because it's AS Color, and kids will buy that. But I got an account with them, cash up front account, but I get them at quite a reduced cost, and then I can apply heat transfer. Like this one here is a friend of mine's design, so that's just heat transfer vinyl. Wash and wear on the shirt. It's pretty good. And he sells them on social media. He's now got his own vinyl cutter, so I'm out of the loop. I just supply him the vinyl, and he uses my account to buy the shirts, which keeps my turnover with the company looking good. So any company that actually manufactures, if you find one, it's just a matter of finding who they are. I can't buy the shirts just to resell. They wanted photos to see what I did. I had to show them my workshop with the vinyl cutter and the computer, so they knew that I was customizing the shirts. Otherwise, they wouldn't have sold to me.
Right.
But yeah, it's just a matter of tracking down the labels and then find the name of the company that actually puts them out. Like we got one company here, their shirts are called Winning Spirit. I couldn't find who sold them because the company that it is shiny. So I only found that out by going into someone else that sold their shirts, and they told me, "Oh, yeah, we get them through Shiny," and that's the manufacturer. So
personally, I like Next Level. That shirt brand. They seem to fit better. You look thinner when you wear them.
Yeah,
I always get compliments.
I can really use that.
Yeah,
You've been working out. You've been working
Australia,
out.
and like we've got different manufacturers. That's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like tactical. What's it called? 511 tactical. 511. I like their hats and stuff. I've done some supplies with them on hats, but I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out, like, I want to market on a shirt, like you said, Chad. Always be marketing.
Yep.
So I want to have like a fistful of shirts in different colors, different types, and have those just made up. And I think it's a good way to market. Like you said, carry around your cup. I have a little. I work at a winery on the weekends, so I bought a wine tumbler, and I put the winery's logo on it that I'm working at.
Yep.
And I put my water in there because everybody else drinks out of everybody else is like this, drinking out of water. I pour all my stuff in my cup and I sit it facing the customers. And the owner comes in, no matter where he sits, I turn it and face it towards him. It's always there. There's little tricks of the trade, I guess you say. Just try and just put it out there. All they can do is say no, and just it's there. Like, oh, where'd you buy that from? I made it. That's all I need to know. And that's like you said, Chad. It's just a way of, I guess, it's like trolling for fishing. Now you just keep paddling. Something's gonna bite on that sucker as you keep moving. I
used to call those like that kind of cup where you're putting your company's logo on it on one side. I would put like that on one side and then my logo on the other side, and I would call it a mullet cup. It's business up front and party in the back.
Party in the back. I don't have that option. Okay, Jesus.
Yeah, both, bud.
But yeah, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. This has been awesome from across the pond with Andy, of course, in the other hemisphere. Thanks for joining us, and I love to come to Australia someday and say, hey, just give me a reason to come over there. It'd be great.
Don't come at the moment. It's cold.
Yeah, I'll come there in the winter because it's your summer. It's perfect. Yeah. And Chad, of course, thanks for your time, brother, and I hope we do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate you guys for coming on.
And Kyle, thanks for grinding after your mad science little expose there with Alex. Yeah, I know you burned the candle. I know you burned the candle at both ends for that bad boy. So, but yeah, so we're gonna take this live stream down. We're gonna jump into the LMA. It's already posted. Alex said in the LMA, so we'll jump in there, and then we'll come back and we'll do a little behind the scenes. We'll shoot the shit a little bit. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you Tuesday. If you're an LMA member and you want to do this with us next week, reach out to us, send us a DM. We'll be putting another post out there to say who wants to come out here and talk about their business and the who, what, when, where, and why type of thing. And we'll try it again. We're gonna try and make this regular thing to highlight LMA members that have been helping us. Like, I wouldn't be here, Kyle wouldn't be here, and Alex would still be making stuff for people, instead of doing this, making this content. So we just want to say thank you guys for supporting the channel. And of course, Laser Source Podcast, the place to be for all your laser engraving needs. So see you guys next week. Thanks a lot. Later.